Namaste viewers. Today we have Mr. Mukesh Bubna, founder and CEO of Monexo Fintech Private Limited with us. Monexo Fintech is an online peer-to-peer lending marketplace in India with the goal of providing superior customer experience and removing the friction in the borrowing process with the use of robust technology. It's a P2P platform licensed by RBI, hence there is a regulator sitting on top of them. And Mukesh Bubna is leading the company. He is a chartered accountant, chartered public accountant, and ICWA. So he is into the core finance field. Mukesh brings 20 years of consumer banking experience from Citibank. He has worked across geographies and lived in India, Singapore, and Hong Kong. He was regional director for product and marketing of Citibank. Prior to that, he was CFO for cards and unsecured lending for the Citibank APAC region, Asia Pacific region. In his last role, he was business head of Western Union Financial Inclusion Program for Asia. Mukesh enjoys traveling and photography. We will get into that part later. Anyway, welcome Mukesh. Nice meeting you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much for having me on your show.
Sure. Mukesh, here, many of our subscribers are looking for P2P lending platforms. They want to diversify their product portfolio. Hence, they are asking, other than mutual fund, what is that? Questions posed by many of the subscribers as well as our customers, and we have been in touch with you and offering Monexo for our investors for the past few years. But however, in the interest of the larger audience, I want to open up on a very simple basis so that new subscribers or viewers of this video understand what is P2P. If you can explain what is P2P lending means.
So P2P lending is an acronym for peer-to-peer lending or person-to-person lending.
Okay.
Now, we've all been doing person-to-person lending. Like we lend to our colleagues in office, we lend to our family members or extended family. But that comes from the fact that one, I know them, two, I want to help them. It is not necessarily for income generation. It is more from a help perspective. But P2P lending is about investment and investment into the India's economy of consumer loans, which we know which is huge, growing every year 20-25%. And you invest in that asset class to earn yields. So it's a fixed income product.
Fixed income product. Okay. Okay. So, I mean, if I understand correctly, there are many people who put money through your platform. I mean, they are called as lenders. On the other side, there are borrowers. So yes, instead of going to a bank or instead of going to a NBFC company, generally to borrow, they come to your platform and there are hundreds of lenders and hundreds of borrowers. Yes. So people help themselves, each other, kind of.
In a way,
the
yes.
process.
So, yes.
Good. Okay. And how is this different from lending by a bank?
So it is different from a bank perspective only in the segment which we work in. But otherwise, the processes are same or similar. I wouldn't say same, but similar. I'll give the similarity first and then I'll talk about differences. When you go to a bank, the bank asks for identity proof of yours. We also do the same. The bank also looks for your income. We also look for your income as a borrower. The bank also looks at your credit bureau score, whether you have got any legal cases going against you. Monexo also looks at the same. So similarity is there. But the difference is the banks like to do a lot of housing loans, secured loans. They like to do large ticket loans. But what Monexo does is loans which are first of all unsecured. We only focus on salaried segment. We don't focus on SME segment. And we do loans in short tenor, less than 12-month requirements. Apart from that, we have also been very active in the MFI space, microfinance services, where we take branches and we lend to rural women. So these are two focus areas for us in which we bring loans on our platform.
Okay. So MFI microfinance segment, you do lend directly or through partners?
No, in microfinance, we have a lot of digital processes. But when it comes to microfinance, the last mile, while our team has all the gadgets like iPad to take picture, fill up the form, but the consumer, the ladies are not well versed to do it themselves. It's an assisted model with a branch base. So we have to have branches in rural area with our partners, which we manage along with them.
Okay. And tell us about Monexo for the viewers, when it was started and what are you doing right now, where you are focusing, geographies and all those things.
So we started in 2016, registered the company. It took us about 12 months to build our technology platform, interact with the various CIBILs, the credit bureaus, the banks. But that time it was unlicensed. Then in 2018, June, we got our license. RBI came up with a draft policy and then we applied for a license and we got a license. We were doing loans earlier only to salaried segment, but post or during the COVID, we added one more product called social impact loan, which is rural financing. We added one more product for agriculture financing. We've also added products, shorter tenor loan for up to 1 lakh rupee for salaried people. And the new thing which we have added very recently is maximum loan of 3,000 rupee for students to build a credit score. We believe a college student specifically should have a credit score before they graduate from college. They should understand basic personal finances. And among that, one is credit score, which we are very passionate about educating to our customer.
Okay. And now, if you can, little bit tell about the regulatory framework. Say, for example, for mutual fund, there is SEBI. So if something goes wrong, at least there is someone who questions from the government side. Similarly, because most of the time, what investors are worried is whether these people are fly-by-night operators, whether they will run away, whether my money will be safe. I mean, they understand risk. Any investment comes with risk. But the problem is whether there is anything over and above to that, whether I lose my entire capital. So that is the most of the people's worry. So along those lines, if regulator comes in, then they are a little bit more confident. Okay, these are good people. We can be rest assured of. So if you can talk about a little bit on that front.
So peer-to-peer lending industry is regulated by Reserve Bank of India. Since the regulation has come out, RBI has given license to about 20 companies, but only 5 or 6 are operating. The remaining have not started operation, or they started operation and they could not continue during COVID time.
Sorry, come again, those numbers.
20 companies they've given license to.
Okay.
6 or 7 are operating. The remaining have not started operation or they've surrendered the license back during COVID time.
Oh, I see. Okay.
To get the license, I will give you my personal experience. Apart from the financial commitment, which is minimum 2 crore capital to be kept aside, just like an NBFC has to do so, we have also kept aside 2 crore capital. But this business is not easy to build on 2 crores. We have to, a lot of investment has to go into technology, distribution, people, just like mutual fund have to do.
True.
But beyond that, RBI has put 5 or 6 key guidelines, which I want to talk about one by one. One, the peer-to-peer lending platforms do not have access to the investor money or the borrower's repayment money. That has to be kept in an escrow account managed by a trustee. So we cannot use investor money to manage our month-on-month expenses. For that, we have to have a separate stream, right? This we had started even before the regulation came. So we went to the RBI and said, this is very important. And this is what was done in UK also. UK, it's a huge industry. And we brought those best practices to India. Second, RBI says that we cannot give guarantee. So if any platform is giving guaranteed return or behaving like a guaranteed return, they are violating the regulation. So we don't give a guaranteed return, we give you indicative return. Third, it looks at the management, fit and proper management. So our team of founders, our team of advisors, and our team of board, all are made of chartered accountants, ex-bankers who have more than, if I put cumulative experience, will be at least 200 years of experience in banking. I myself have now 25 years in financial services. All those people have been in financial services for 30, 35 years. Fourth, RBI says very clearly that one has to submit reports and be available for audit with RBI at any point of time. Just like any bank could be subject to audit, we are also subject to RBI audit and RBI reporting. And the last is that we have to deal with non-cash money. We don't deal with cash. So everything is based on know your customer and a bank-to-bank transactions.
Only online and bank transactions. No more, no cash, nothing.
No cash.
And also like any other regulator, investors, if they have any grievances, they may write to RBI about the platform.
Yes. And even us, we are supposed to have a grievance cell within our company. We are supposed to provide all access to consume the customer's own data, as well as have a call center and an email servicing. So we don't have to just take the money and never show up, but we have all the required services to be available.
Okay. That is good. That brings a level of confidence to the investors. Okay, there are someone is looking above them, and we can complain at least. Getting money, not getting money, that is a different question. But there is someone to raise a complaint and to control, to regulate. Yes. Then the industry automatically becomes more cleaner and healthier from the investor's point of view. That's a good thing. And coming to the main point, where investors are concerned is now, say like bank FD is giving me 5%, 6%, and other investments I have to take risk. Here also there is risk. I won't say there is no risk, there is risk. NPA is the biggest risk as I see. But what is an expected rate of return for a conservative investor post all your expenses? Net, how much he can expect?
You should be able to earn 2x of fixed deposit. So fixed deposit rates are currently at 5, 10, 11% is what you should look at here. We are consistently been able to give a 13% IRR to our customers during COVID time because of our social impact loan or rural financing. When we do rural financing, we are giving the money to a group of 6 women or 4 women. Now they know each other, and that's the cheapest credit they can get compared to going to the local Banya or Sahukar, which charge very high interest. So they are very clear, and they use this money not for consumption but for income. So we have not seen any default in this segment, and we're very happy and growing this segment very rapidly.
So then, a conservative can expect approximately 13. Am I right? 12, 13 in the past. 12, yes. Yeah. Okay. Good.
And then we have a product which is slightly higher risk, where we are lending to students 3,000 rupees, but with the intent of not borrowing, but to build a credit score. There we give investors a yield of 20% before NPA, and we expect 3% NPA in that. So after NPA, it's a 17% yield possible.
So there they can like 15, 16% kind of thing.
Yes.
Okay.
And then we have something called moderate risk. There it's salaried people between 15 to 18% we lend at. We expect that to have 1.5% losses in a normal time. I'm not talking about a black swan event like COVID where people lost jobs. These are higher income people earning 75,000 to 1 lakh rupee per month, and they're borrowing 1 lakh rupee for 12 months. So give or take 1 month's salary they're taking for a short-term need. And there we expect not more than 1% default. So there also one can earn 14, 15%. In aggregate, if somebody is diversified well across all three segments, it will be 15%, but if it's all conservative, 13%.
Okay. So if we can get a broad range for conservative, like 10, 11, 12 along those range, and medium risk 14, 15%, and very high risk maybe 16, 17 range. Kind of, that is a range, post all the expenses and the NPA levels kind of thing. That is an expected return. And how, safe is, again, the same question I'm coming back. How safe is investing in P2P? So did you, in your past 5, 6 years or 7 years of running this company, has any investor lost his money completely and gone kind of, bankrupt kind of thing, in the sense I put 5 lakhs and 5 lakhs is gone, or I got only 4 lakhs? What is the general experience?
So, first of all, this is very different from a stock market where 5 lakh can become zero or it can become 25 lakh rupees. Both can be possible. Here, the basic principle of bringing 5 lakh rupee, and what we do is then make units of 1,000 rupees and invest in 500 borrowers. So that diversification is huge.
So now, if sorry to interrupt. So if I understand correctly, a person, if he puts 500,000 or 5 lakh rupees, you are lending, or he can lend that to 500 borrowers, rupees 1,000 each.
Correct.
So you are saying that all the 500 borrowers will not go away in a day?
Will never be able to go away for reasons. One, we are doing their KYC. We know who their identity is. We are doing their CIBIL and past default checks. We're also doing a lot of alternate data readings from the mobile phone. So we know a lot about the customer before we approve or disapprove the loan. Now, if on a 5 lakh, let's assume, or take a simple example on 10 lakh rupee, somebody is able to earn 13% IRR. So let's assume 1,30,000 rupee income, and he's invested in 1,000 rupee, 1,000 loans. That means 130 loans have to go bad before his capital can get eroded, which is impossible. Impossible to see that.
Right? Good. So that is good diversification, good amount of diversification. And if I understand rightly from your team, that you are predominantly focusing in southern states, particularly in Tamil Nadu. Am I right?
So slowly we have expanded a little bit more. We've expanded into Orissa, West Bengal for social impact loan. But all, if you look at east and southern, which our team can travel overnight by train also if required. Right? Okay. So our reach is very important. Our reach to our branches is very important. On the digital front, we've added a lot of technology tools now, and we've opened up all India, but we are growing very slowly. So our system can calculate risk being different in Delhi versus Chennai versus Coimbatore versus which company he's working for. So all those parameters go into our risk assessment, and then approval or rate is decided.
Okay. What are the risks that investors should be aware of before getting into P2P?
First of all, they should be aware that there's potential NPAs. There will be delays. and there will be defaults. Delays are separate, defaults are separate. Delays are something where I'm a borrower on the platform, I'm supposed to pay on 1st, but I pay on 15th. That's a delay, and that happens quite regularly. Second is default. I don't pay continuously for 6 months. That's a default, right? So default will happen. If you look at the whole lending business, it's based on what is the history. Nobody can predict what will happen in the future of a customer. While there's a lot of science being used, but it is all to predict how is he doing today and how is his financial health been in the past. Nobody can predict what will happen to my personal health tomorrow. Similarly, nobody can predict financial health. So there will be people who will fall into the cave or the craft where they fall into financial difficulty. And that because of India's credit bureau being very strong, right? Once you are reported defaulter, then you will not get any loan from a formal institutions. And that is for 8 to 10 years. So they try and avoid defaulting, but yes, somebody can have a default risk there. That's the highest risk, and that's what people should be very wary of. They should factor that in their mind that they will have some defaults in their portfolio.
Okay. So that is the potential default risk and delay risk is there in getting the money. But in your overall on a macro level, in the past, it has not happened on a big basis. I mean, you are able to calculate that percentage, how much NPA it can get, all those things.
Yes, there's a great deal of science which has happened post the credit bureau has come into India. And today there are a lot of other science which has evolved. Example, based on geolocation of a city, where you stay. Like if you're staying in Chennai, all Chennai areas are not same. All areas are not affluent or mid-affluent. Some are low income, right? So the systems can calculate the risk based on, apart from the bureau score, looking at location and other things also.
Okay. And who are the potential customers, in the sense investors for P2P lending? I'm more taking from an investor perspective, because I'm not taking this video from a consumer perspective who is taking loan from you. I am taking this from a more investor perspective. Who should consider investing in P2P?
I would say today its time has come where everybody should think of putting and starting their account on a peer-to-peer lending platform, preferably Monexo, right? Everybody, if you look at it, we are now in India, even though overall macro level, we say it's only 2% in mutual fund. But if you look at all our portfolio, we've started doing 15 to 20% of our income into mutual fund every month. What we have to see is, I'm not saying to stop that, but you have to diversify beyond that also. Right? Mutual fund is also saying a long-term investment. This is also a return. If you look at rule of 72, it predicts how many years will it take to double your money. So if you divide by 13, give or take 5 to 6 years, you will double your money. So one can start small. In our platform, we have some new features like SIP. You can do SIP for 1,000 rupee, 5,000 rupee, 10,000 rupee as per you. So you build a saving habit. You can bring lump sum money from anywhere from 25,000 rupees, but RBI caps 50 lakh rupees is the maximum limit for anybody.
Per person?
Per person, per PAN card, right? And the beauty of this product is there's no TDS. So for people who are above 18 and they have a family member who wants to build their file, they can build a file without having to pay any tax, right? And for women, there's tax exemption there. So a lot of tax planning can be done in this product also from other perspectives.
Good. And we are coming to the end. How you are different from other P2P players? You said there are 22 licensed players, but there are only 6 or 7 are active. So how you are different from other players?
So first of all, we are very driven based on technology. In every process, we have put technology to the ultimate use. So today, if somebody downloads our investor app, they can onboard themselves in less than 2 minutes and start investing. Right? Just imagine the power of being able to do this at midnight also, or on a Sunday afternoon. You don't need to contact my team until there's a problem, right? Second is within that, there are a number of features. Now, if imagine somebody brings 50 lakh rupees and wants to invest 1,000 rupees per loan, he will have 5,000 loans. He cannot click on every loan. So we have something called auto invest. Then they can choose what portfolio they want to build. They want to build a conservative portfolio, moderate risk portfolio, high risk portfolio, or a mix of all three. That is possible. Then the other beauty is we have something called monthly income plan, where the customer will get interest earned back into their bank account first of the month. Within that, we have various features now where customers say, I want to get 8% of my monthly income back, and the remaining I want to reinvest, or I want the full interest back. And just recently, we are adding technology-wise, we have just launched it, but we're also saying donate it. Now, we all have, some people have arrived in life, they have enough money, but they want to donate. So we are looking at causes like cancer, eyes, feeding the poor. So we are first company which will bring on our platform will be Akshaya Patra very soon, where you can donate your monthly income. So you keep your capital aside, use it and keep donating your income only. And you will get ATG certificate through us.
Yeah, good. No, that way there is, there are many good things could be done through fixed income. I mean, for planning and all, that would be a better thing. And finally, what is your advice for those who are considering, through your platform? Of course, I'm glad that we have been in association with Monexo for the past 2-3 years, and customers are in general, they are happy. So what is your advice for those who are considering lending through P2P?
So first of all, diversify. Whatever money you bring, the more diversification, the better for you. So 1,000 rupee per loan, and we cap you at 5,000 rupee per loan. But even for a 50 lakh rupee person, I don't recommend going more than 2,000 rupee or 3,000 rupee per loan. Because for me, it's not incremental work, it's technology which picks up the heavy load, right? And for you, it's not a heavy work because you only set up auto invest. So first is diversify. Second is don't dive into like every day like a trader. How many loans this is at? Wait and watch your yield of 13-14% getting credited to your account. Take your interest income back or donate it, whatever you feel like. Use that income, go back and put that in the SIP market or mutual fund, right? Because you can't time the equity market. But this, if you're investing 50 lakh rupees here, you're getting give or take 55,000 rupee interest income. That if you put in SIP, you are not timing the market, but you're using your income to be in the SIP market. Right? So these are two of my very frank requests: diversify and take your income back regularly.
Thank you, Mukesh. Thanks for taking time out and explaining in detail in a layman's language for our subscribers. I'm glad that you are in Chennai, so that you are a call away, and or we can visit your office for any troubles. So that gives me more confidence. That's why I take it to my investors, our investors as well, Prakala's investors as well. Many of them have enrolled with Monexo. Anyway, thank you and wishing you good luck, and let this industry grow, and you grow to a much bigger level. That is our ambition. Best wishes, Mukesh.
Thank you very much, Chokkalingam sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.